Okay, so far we have 2 for A and 1 for B. 3 for A. I'm going to go with B. Vincent, you can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, the only reason B stuck out to me is because assess the server's resilience. Versus vulnerability scanning versus penetration testing, where you would like actually attempt to exploit the vulnerability. That's my 2 cents.
Yep. Okay, yeah, 5A and 3B at this point. All right, we're going to go ahead with A because that's the majority. And that is correct. All right, here is the explanation, and let me expand this manager's perspective too. Yep, cutting off a little bit. All right, when you guys are ready to go to the next question, just give me a thumbs up.
Port 3389, is that for remote desktop?
I believe it
That's
is.
correct. Yep.
And before we move on, you guys, I'm going to show you a couple of features here on the questions. There's a section here to highlight keywords. It'll pick out some of the keywords within the question and highlight them for you. There is also an option to have it read the question to you. And we can test that out on the next one. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Which of the following is not a common authentication factor used in identity and access management? IAM.
I believe it's something you want.
I think we're gonna be all with C. So
That question should be rated easy instead of medium.
yeah, true. Are you guys ready to move to the next one? All right, let me know. Do you want it to read it off, or do you just want to read it yourself?
I think the reading is the voice is too robotic.
Yeah, it's very distracting right now.
All right, so we will just read it silently. think we got 4 for C right now.
I know they're in there. I have to sit there. I'm going without you.
Okay. Correct answer was B. All right. Next question. All right. Let me know when you guys are ready for the next question. Sorry, I had to mute. All right. We've got 1 for A. All right, since we have a variety here, I'm going to open this up for discussion. If anybody wants to say why they chose what they chose. Right now, C is in the lead. Go ahead, Rich. Reg, we can't hear you. Okay, mic issues. All right, so far, C is in the lead. I was going to go with C as well. And that is the correct answer. Are you guys able to read the explanation? Okay. All right. Because I think I shrunk down. Yeah, the zoom on my browser is set at 75%. So if it's too small for anybody, I can make it bigger. But then I think some of the answers don't show up until I scroll. All right, we'll go ahead to the next question. This is considered medium. I have a feeling we're all going with A on this one. All right, go ahead and choose A. That's the correct answer. Vincent, I was just noticing here, it doesn't look like it gives them an example explanation for option D. All right, go ahead and continue to the next question. This is a medium question as well. Looks like a majority of us have A. If any of you want to explain why you thought it may have been D or B, feel free. We won't judge. You may be right. We may be wrong. All right, we're going to go ahead and select A. A is correct. All right, next question. That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Vincent, is this a timer per question or is this a timer and all?
It's per question, and then at the end it'll show you total time per question. I think it averages it and then shows maybe both.
Okay.
Actually, I think what I did is if it goes above 3 minutes, it'll turn red. I don't know if we sit on a question long enough, we can see if that works.
Gotcha.
Hey, Vincent, I think a suggestion to turn on red. Will you consider using the same timing that the CISSP exam has?
Sure.
I think it's about like a minute and 25. That way people know that, you pass your time per question, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Thank you. So a minute
Yeah.
20, a minute 25 is probably a better threshold.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion.
Okay, thanks for that.
So far we've got I think it's 6 B's and 1 A. Gonna go ahead with B. And B is correct. All right, you guys good with continuing? All right, next question. This one's considered a medium. So I think we have 1 for D and 4 for A. Right, the answer is A. All right, next question. Vincent, one other thing I noticed is in some of our other test banks, we're able to go back on a question to review it if somebody wanted to talk about it some more.
Yep.
We don't have that option. I don't know if it's easy to do or if it could cause problems.
Yeah, I won't do it during the session, but I'll put that in tonight. Back button. Silly. Thanks.
I also noticed another thing on the manager's perspective. It's all jumbled. It's not, like line by line, like option A, option B. It's all just jumbled up, and it makes
Yeah.
it hard on eyes to read.
Yeah, absolutely. That and the explanations, the formatting has to be fixed on both of them. But you're correct. Yeah.
It's like so far everybody's going with A. We have 1 D. All right, we can go ahead and select A. A is correct. This is another one where I'm not seeing D in the explanation. Am I just missing it?
ABC. Okay, so D is missing from some in the explanation.
Yeah. All right, next question. This is considered medium as well. I have 2 for A. 3 for B. Go ahead, Vincent.
I'm actually maybe someone can help me understand this a little bit better because I'm actually just kind of guessing because I don't think it is. Oh, that's a notification. I don't know. I don't think it's 802.x port control. I feel like it could be Mac based control because you can identify the specific host and maybe see if its AV definitions are updated.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
Yeah, I thought one of the answers would be related to posture check, but I'm not seeing that. And yeah, I don't think it has to do with ports or IP address.
Maybe something VLAN, and then maybe you could do some sort of segmentation like that. But
I wouldn't think VLAN would matter because you
maybe only. Oh, Shalishi, please go ahead.
Yeah, so there is a phrase that says ensures that only devices with up-to-date antivirus definition. So I think that might align with mandatory access control. That's why I chose B.
Right.
all right. Let's go ahead with B. That's the answer that I would have leaned toward as well.
Oh man.
It is port based. Interesting. Let's see what
Can you all hear me?
it says.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Go
Okay.
ahead.
A port base, sometimes use that with the Wi-Fi to identify systems, and you use that with a NAC as well to identify systems. You can use a policy to, say a system's up to date or not up to date. That's why I chose A, because we have used that. I've seen it when I read that with port base and use 802 for that.
Oh,
Mac.
okay. I know what they're talking about now.
Yeah. So
it'll do a posture check, and if it doesn't meet certain conditions, that port, meaning that network port, will disable, and you'll be off the network.
Yes.
Right.
So if you use B, I believe B will be that MAC address for that device would be scanned, but it'll necessarily every other device after that will be scanned. So that's why I choose Mac, because it'd be just for that particular host.
Yeah, that makes sense now. There's some mix up in the explanation here too. You see it says option A Mac, and that's option B. Option B IP, and that's option C.
Yes, that's helpful. Very
It's
helpful.
shifting those.
Actually. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. That's really helpful.
And that may be why the D was missing. It was just shifting options, and I didn't notice it on the last two questions.
Well, it. I don't want to get into the weeds on this call, but it's failing in a way that makes perfect sense to me. So I think I can fix that.
All right. Okay. Next question, you guys. This is a medium question as well. Sorry, I'm scrolled a little bit. Okay, there we go. I think we're all going with B. And B is correct. All right, next one. This was an interesting one because I think all the other answers support SSL, and it says, which of the following provides the most accurate rationale for choosing TLS over SSL? All the other answers seem to support SSL. Or try to support it. All right, thank you on that. All right, next question. And we are on number 14 out of 25. This is a medium question as well. All right, let's have a little discussion on this one. Because I'm like eliminating host-based. Based on that, they want a comprehensive vulnerability assessment. And I think host-based, you're limiting it down too much. But can you guys explain why you think that might be the right answer, Victor?
The big thing that you gotta look at is they want to do the assessment without disrupting critical operations. So the best way to manage that will be by to do a host-based scan. You can select which servers you want to scan first, and then do the other ones where in non-business critical time. Go ahead, listen.
I think it's A because they want to ensure without disrupting critical operations. I mean, you're just doing an assessment, not a test. So I think that would be the only way to, for sure, avoid disrupting critical operations. Is what I think.
Yeah, and I was kind of leaning toward B, internal. Penetration test is going to be disruptive. You can set a scope with a penetration test, so you can say don't, go after certain resources. But they're trying to identify weakness in their network infrastructure. And if you're doing external, unless you penetrate, you're not going to see the internal network infrastructure.
I think we have to look at what they're trying to do and how they want to do it. Goes back to like what role are we playing in the question. So for me, when I see that the team wants to ensure thorough assessment without disrupting critical operations, I think the best way to do it would be like selecting which host you want to scan first.
Yeah, and it is an assessment and not a pen test necessarily. All right, let's go ahead and choose C. And it's B. All right, let's look at Y. All right.
Now, I
Let me
feel
know.
that you can still do a host-based vulnerability scan and be internal. So I don't know about that question. You know what I mean? Like I can still do an internal vulnerability assessment and select which host I want to do first.
Yeah, but because they said comprehensive, I think that kind of leads it toward being more than just host-based. You want to get a full picture of your network environment. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the key terms here are security team within an organization and also disrupting critical operations. If we choose the host-based, I think that will be individual. It's not a network. That's why I chose B.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Are you guys ready for the next one? All right, this is a medium question. I think we're all going to end up with A.
I actually think I'm wrong, but I'm interested to see. I think there's a potential it could be C. But only a potential. Because, yeah, absolutely. That's what an intrusion detection system does. But a firewall also can do that. They just have to implement a networking solution that captures and analyzes packets in real time. I think they both do that, but
Yeah, and I think just saying firewall is a little too vague. it has to be like a next generation firewall in order to give you that analyzing and that kind of stuff.
So
Right.
didn't we do another question similar to this?
Yeah, a very similar one we saw.
Okay.
All right, let's see
yeah.
what we got here. A is the correct answer. Yeah, firewalls do not typically capture.
You want to look specificity there then. That makes sense.
All right, next question. This is a medium level as well. Thanks, Jeff. All right, we're pretty close to a tie here. Do you guys want to have a little discussion? Actually, I'll make it a tie because I'm going to go with, well, you know what? I'm not going to make it a tie. I'm going to go with C. All right, go ahead, Alton.
Yeah, I chose B because I know it says it's outdated and vulnerable to known attacks, but it's discovering that the encryption algorithm. Now, if it was anything, else that would have been saying that, I would have went vulnerability assessment. But being as dealing with the encryption algorithm being outdated, I think I was thinking penetration testing because it's been exploiting it.
Vincent?
Yeah, I went with simple logic that they said in a security assessment, and that is the only assessment on the list. So that was my rationale.
Sure. All right, I'm going to say I lean more toward B than A. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I chose B because it says during the testing, and it's not like trying to identify the gaps. Instead, they actually discovered the issue.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to choose B.
All right, let's go with B.
Nah,
Oh, it was C. Yeah, the reason I leaned toward C was because to me the question sounded like they were looking at possible configurations and discovered it, not necessarily a pen test of the entire infrastructure. Are you ready for the next question? All right, this is medium question number 17 out of 25. So far, we've got A's across the board. I'm going to go ahead and select A, and A is correct. Next question. All right. So far, we have one majority A. Do any of you guys who chose B or C want to discuss why you thought that was the correct answer? Go ahead.
Yeah, I chose B because I feel the way I understood the question is it's not asking about the type of access control, it's actually asking for how to achieve the requirement. So to achieve the RBAC, I think using MFA is something I would choose.
Okay. Hey, Vincent, I see another thing going on here. I've got hide keywords and there's none highlighted.
Click it again. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But yes, thank you. It needs to, the text doesn't switch.
And this timer seems to be for the entire. Because we haven't spent 35 minutes on this question.
No, it can feel like it sometimes. But...
All right. We're going to go ahead and select A and see what it says. A is correct. And personally, I think the key that led toward A is they were talking about based on user roles.
Do you think that is distracting or helpful, the keywords?
I think some of the keywords I would have picked out would not have been the same ones.
Yeah, and I think I could probably refactor how that's getting keywords.
So is it that easy? They mentioned use role in the question and the answer can be role based. I'm just maybe thinking too much, but yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes those questions could be like that. If they're trying to identify a certain type of component.
Man. Yeah.
And multi-factor, personally, I don't think that would matter whether you're using multi-factor and it's role-based.
So is the question asking about
based.
is the question asking about the type of IAM component, or are they really asking for what needs to be done to achieve the requirement?
The type of,
yeah,
I don't know if component is the right word in this. But the type of IAM that you would use.
I'm just maybe overthinking. I get it.
Control.
No, I
solution.
agree. It's not. I don't. It doesn't seem to be exactly worded correctly.
Yeah, I think it is really heavily trying to trick us. You know, we're kind of at the end here. If you don't mind, go to the question generator and look at the advanced. If you go to question bank at the top.
Question bank. Okay.
And then question generator. It's that second sub tab. Yeah, there you go. And then all the way at the bottom, there's advanced options. So this is where we can maybe generate some more like group friendly questions. I believe there's a toggle for the extra word salad, but it's like asking for some of them to be made like extra difficult in the way that they're worded. But I think you can turn that off if you scroll all the way to the bottom. Yeah, include strong distractors that test common misconceptions. I'm pretty sure that's why we get some of those ones, because I agree entirely. It's like, all right, it would take like a lawyer to prove them wrong on this one, but I guess technically they're right. So maybe there's some.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the question was that bad, but it just seemed a little bit off on that one.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm trying to get a sense of the questions too. And the interesting thing is they're going to evolve with the database because it uses seed phrases and seed questions to generate new ones. So it can kind of get pretty deep into concepts that way, and then we avoid repetition that way.
Mhm.
So anyway, I appreciate everybody's feedback. I don't want to detract too much.
All right, let's go ahead and finish this up then. Having me answer this one again, even though we answered it, because I didn't have next question. Okay. This is a medium one.
Chris, you're going to run through the full 25 with the group?
Yeah. Hold
Okay.
on 1 second, you guys.
Sure.
All right, you know what? Let's just do this one question. I've got to get going too. That was my call to say, hey, are you done yet?
Yeah, I got a similar.
All right, looks like a majority is choosing C. And C is the correct answer. All right, and we were able to get through 19 of the questions.